Hello, and thank you for popping on for part two of client Q and A's. So another question that can be asked is how long will this take? The client, it may be a financial question, maybe the client only has a certain amount of money to give. I don't believe a therapist can give a definitive answer on this because unless they're dealing with like if you've booked into like solution focused brief therapy or CBT or DBT or any of those IPTs or any of those short term therapies, where they know the therapist knows this is what you get is a box of 6 sessions and that's your lot. 6 sessions should take an average 6 weeks. If if that's okay, if they want to do weekly, if the client might want to do them all in one day, I don't know. I don't know if that's even an option. But I know certainly with the dawn of single session therapy now, the idea would be like a full day, like So it just depends. So that's really difficult question to answer. How long will this take? Because in the general sense, therapists aren't going to know what the client is doing person to know. And I'm really not a fan of a therapist who turns around and says, "Oh, well, it'll take at least 2 years, a year or 2 years or something like that." Because certainly, if I was going to therapy and a therapist was to say to me, "It'll take 2 years," I'd interpret that as, "Oh, I'm really damaged. There's something really wrong with me here." And they see this, whereas it's kind of horrible. But um, I'd answer that as everyone's journey is different. Everyone is completely different. So someone might go to therapy and it'll take 1 session. And I'm not saying that's the answer, but they may go and they might get enough in 1 session. They might go and say, right, I had enough. I feel great. That was the stuff I needed to offload. I'm quite cool with that. Let's go. And they might leave, and it happened to me. They'll leave and they'll come back. They'll ring in 6 months or something, and they might pop in for one more. Another client might want to do an intensive set of therapy for 6 weeks and then say, yeah, I think I'm okay. I think I'll try on my own now for a while and see how I'm done. They may or may not come back. If they come back, well and good. If they don't, brilliant. That's what they needed. So it's a really, really difficult question to answer. How long will this take? So what I do is I always do check-ins. There's what I say is 6 week review, and it's normally around 6 to 8 weeks. Doesn't really have to stick to 6 weeks. Or it might even do 4 weeks, depending on what happens in the process. Where we look at it and say, well, are you happy with how it's going, and what do you feel yourself? And then it comes to six, and the client might say, yeah, I'm happy enough. I'm good with the six. I think I'll head. Or they might say, actually, yeah, that was really cool. I enjoyed how it's going. I know there's something else there, and I need to move into this. Let's go. So there's no how long is a piece of string answer here. Just we just don't know. The client will know in their own time, and the therapist will trust that the client will know. You won't know day one, neither will the therapist, but the client will know eventually as they go through. Oh, I think I actually might need a little bit more time. There's no number on that time. A good question then might be, and again, this might not be very directly asked, but it can be in a way, a roundabout way it's put in. So, do you actually care about me, or is this just your job? And that says a lot about the client asking the question. So, you know, therap- every therapist really does. We really want to care about our clients. We really do care about them. We really do want to work with them. Um, we're invested in what's going on for them. We really care that they're doing the work and that they're improving. If we didn't, we wouldn't be talking about the reviews and that kind of thing. We really want them to improve. We really want them to be getting the benefit of it. And in my situation, it's like, if I see there's no improvement, well, maybe I'm not the right therapist. So we'll talk about that. We'll say, well, do you feel you need something different here? What can we change it? Is there something I'm not doing? So that's why a therapist cares deeply. They really will want to. It is certainly their job. That's their job, but it's their job because they care. And majority, huge majority of therapists are, you know, they've come from situations where they've moved through job through caring professions and stuff like that. There's very few mechanics that go in to be a therapist. Not saying it doesn't happen. I'm sure it does. But again, there's very few. A lot of therapists have moved through the systems of showing a kind of graduation towards this caring, true caring. Um, so every client is more than just an appointment, and it can become it's kind of a complex thing because it can become a very close friendship almost, even though there's boundary issues there. We don't you don't go drinking with your therapist. You don't say, I'll meet you Friday, we'll go for a drink. Whatever, that doesn't happen. Uh, so it's a kind of a very strange thing that you have this really deep connection and deep friendship, a very very close friendship with someone, the only person in your world that you can talk to openly, and they never judge you. something really, really special about that. So yeah, absolutely, the therapist, when you know, you know. If the client is asking that question, do you actually care about me, or is this your job? The question is, do they feel they've been cared about here? Is there something, maybe if you're asking that question, you feel yourself, you know the answer. That it's just not really, you're not gelling in that situation. So I'll continue on this with another video soon. Anyway, thank you.